I'm Charlie Rose with Gail King and Nora O'Donnell. The Tea Party's flying high this morning after a shocking upset in Virginia's primary. House Majority Leader Eric Cantor lost his congressional seat last night. It is a stunning defeat for one of the most powerful Republicans in Washington.
The winner is Dave Brat, a college professor backed by Tea Party activists. He called his victory a miracle from God. Brat will face a Democrat in November, but that district around Richmond is heavily Republican.
With us now, Chief Washington correspondent and host of Face the Nation, Bob Schieffer. Bob, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Charlie.
Bob, is this simply the case of a congressman who lost sight of his district and paid too much attention to Washington, or is it much more?
I'm not even sure it's about either of the candidates in this race, Charlie. What this is about is the deep and widening divide in the Republican Party. And it is still deep, and it is wider than we had expected, even though right after the government shutdown, a lot of folks on the Tea Party side of the Republican Party kind of lost their luster. This was something that, especially those on the establishment side, had really hurt the party, they thought. But they are still there, and this is the latest example. Reports of the death of the Tea Party, as Mark Twain once said about his own death being reported, were greatly exaggerated.
So define, Bob, the difference between the fight for the Republican Party.
Well, the people on this side of the party are very, very frustrated, and they don't see compromise as a way to settle things. They don't see making deals with Democrats as a way to solve things. They kind of have an idea. They want very, very low taxes. They absolutely do not want any kind of immigration reform, and they don't see much way that any of what they want is going to get done by making deals with the other side. What they do want is not nearly as clear as what they're against, and they're basically against everybody in the establishment and in elected office right now. It's going to be very, very difficult now for Speaker Boehner. Now, I think you'll probably see a very conservative person run now for Eric Cantor's place in the Republican leadership in the House. They may even try to just take on Boehner himself directly. That would not surprise me.
Whoa. The word is that immigration reform is now dead in Congress. Do you think that too, Bob Schieffer?
Well, I think it was already dead, but I think it's even deader, if that's the way to put it. I don't think there's any chance now that you'll certainly not see anything this year, and this may be the first indication there won't be much happen next year. Republicans at the national level and national Republican candidates understand that the Republican Party, if it's ever again to elect a president, has to find some way to appeal to Hispanics. But most Republican congressmen in their districts do not have a very large Hispanic vote. So voting against reform at the local level and the congressional level is very easy for these Republican congressmen. But again, it just underlines this deep divide in the Republican Party right now.
And Bob Schieffer, do you think, am I the only one that sees that Dave Brat and Eric Cantor look a lot alike? Do they look a lot alike to you?
I hadn't really thought about that.
No, I was watching.
I'll tell you something else. What we have here, Gail, is we have something that brings new meaning to the fierceness of faculty and politics, because the Democrat now who is going to face Brat in the general election is also a professor at the very same university,
Bob,
Randolph-Macon in Virginia, where this challenger's coming from.
And remember, Newt Gingrich was a former professor too.
Yeah, but both from the same university.
From the same university.
Hadn't had that before.
Bob Schieffer, always great to have you. Thank you so much.